Very red.
Hi, welcome. This is the CaddyInfo.com Cadillac Chat. We do these on Thursday nights. I have with me Vinny from Cadillac Country Club this week,
How you doing?
and several other websites. Fill in. I always get it wrong, so fill in the right ones, Vinny.
Well, Cadillac Country Club is the main one among my 30.
Yes.
I also own CaddyChat.com, which I haven't really done much on in a while. So,
Well, there you go. I knew some. I think when Sal was doing his thing, like he did 35 different websites waiting to see what worked, right?
that's about it.
This, and you just don't know what's going to take.
Uh,
But it's good to see you. We haven't been on in a while.
yeah, it's been a couple weeks. I spent the last week driving across from Phoenix to New York City, which was fun. So I probably passed right by you.
Yeah. If you do come through the Dallas area, then holler and I'll buy lunch, right?
Yeah, I forgot where I stayed. I was a little bit west of you. I think Big Springs, something like that.
Yeah, I am terrible with cities in Texas or California or anywhere else for that matter.
Yeah,
But yeah, whenever you're close by, holler at me or send me a note, and we'll see if we can get together.
cool.
So, what are you bouncing around about? You said you're up in New York for the auto show.
I'm up in New York for the auto show, among other things. The auto show is next week, I think, at this time. I
So you're
don't
going
know.
to have a Periscope from the auto show?
It's going to be probably a little late because I think I'm going to get out of there around 5. So, and you don't start your calls till 8 my time. So, I don't
No,
know.
I mean from the show, you'll have a Periscope on your Periscope account, right?
Oh, actually, what I'm going to do is I used Facebook Live the other night for the first time, and it's so much better than Periscope for me.
at doing Periscope.
Yeah, no, the difference is with Periscope you have to have all your users find you on a whim, where
Right.
on Facebook, I can log in as your Facebook page and hit live video. So everybody who's a fan of that page of your page automatically gets an email update. And in my case, I think I got 4,500 people on the Cadillac
Wow,
fan page.
nice.
So if I send an email out to the list and tell them I'm going to be live on the Facebook page, so that's probably what I'm going to do next. What is it, Wednesday, Thursday? I forget which press days it is. But I'm going to the first press day, the 23rd, I think. And I'm not going to go the second day, I don't think, because I'm going to be busy packing for my trip back to Phoenix.
I thought you were the one that talked me into how exciting Periscope was,
Yes, I
and
was.
now you've moved on.
Well, after I've had like 17 different Periscope accounts for each website, I'm like, this is too much work to switch back and forth. And, I still
Yeah.
watch Periscope, but I don't do as many.
Now, when you do the Facebook Live, does it save the video off, or how does that work?
Yes, it saves the video to your page, but you can also, like, I'll be using my iPad, so it'll automatically save to my camera roll, which will end up getting, I use If This Then That, a little web app, to automate some stuff, and that'll go automatically up to some storage place that I have it set to go.
Oh, okay.
It'll go
But,
on.
so you could also have it go to YouTube if it didn't retain on Facebook, but it sounds like Facebook saves some amount of video for you then.
Yeah, I think they save everything. I did 29 minutes the other night of a sunset, and it saved the whole thing. And it's been 4 or 5 days, and I'm still getting people joining in and watching the video and all of that.
Now, were there Cadillacs in the picture, or it was just
It was
a straight sunset?
just straight sunset. I was doing a photography. I had my photography hat on, you know. So right at the end of my block, I have a beautiful bay overlooking like the Freedom Tower and the Empire State Building. So
And then do you use the camera and external lenses and so on for the iPad, or just straight iPad?
no, I actually I used well, for the video I was just straight iPad.
Yeah.
And then I got a brand new iPhone 6 Plus,
Yes.
and I was using that, and that seems to be better than the iPad.
Oh, you think the video's better on
The video is better on it, I guess, because it's a little bit newer. Who knows?
it? Exactly. Yeah, you need to get a newer iPad now.
Right. So I'll be going around the auto show next week with my iPad 2, my 6, thing, my big camera, my big Canon camera. So I'll be like a walking electronics.
Well, fun. Now, will we be able to reflect that on the web page too? So in other words, once you publish this on the thing, I don't know. I'll have to go study it.
what's going to end up happening is I'm going to publish it live on Facebook, right?
Yes.
So everybody who's following me on Facebook and the Cadillac Country Club page will be able to go. I feel like I'm promoting myself here. Uh,
Sure.
but anybody who's on the Cadillac page will end up seeing it live in real time. And then after I get home, I can just upload it to YouTube as a video. So, but the Facebook Live thing, you really got to investigate it because you're gonna like it too. You can see the comments crystal clear as you're broadcasting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean because it works like Periscope that way? Because the
Yes.
big thing with Periscope is that people can interact with you, right?
Right. Right. But
Yeah.
it was really really an eye opener for me, especially as a marketer for my other websites. That I'm gonna be using Facebook Live like a maniac. I can see it already. You know.
That the way you do anything, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a maniac. Okay, so what you have to do is Vinny's got Cadillac Country Club as a Facebook page in addition to CadillacCountryClub.com. And so if you like the Facebook page, then you'll get alerted when he's doing Facebook Live
Right.
from the show and so on. Okay, and then we'll go study to see all right how the more about how that works and so on. Yeah,
Right.
when I went to CadillacCountryClub.com, it has a big thing that says sign up, which I think took me to the website as opposed to like, which gets me hooked up on Facebook. Okay, so yeah, I always have a big controversy about how much I want to push people to Facebook and how much I'd rather people just come right to the site, right?
Of course. Well,
But
Facebook. There's a billion people on Facebook, so get them going there and then to your web.
exactly. But I think of all those sites as like launching kites, right?
Yeah.
That you have Facebook, you have Twitter, you have Instagram. Instagram's the worst because it doesn't have as good a linking back to where you want them to go. But yeah, it's a way for people to find you.
I watched the big thing on Instagram today, how they're losing traffic like crazy and stuff. So
Well, where it gets me, I enjoy Instagram and I like the format and I like the enthusiasm of the people there. But there's not a clean way to post a link back to your content, right?
right,
And so that what I'm all about is I'll show you the preview, but then I want you to come read the article or come interact. And
right.
so
What Instagram people are trained to do is go back and find your profile and click on that one link.
oh, there you go.
And for me, that link is normally a email sign up page.
Well, for you, it ought to be a landing page that shows 35 different websites.
Yeah.
It's like pick one at random.
Well,
Sign up for our email.
you do know I have 30 different Instagram accounts, right? One for each website.
Oh, well, yeah, I figured because you said your Periscope accounts.
Yeah,
So
everything runs independent for me except for the two Cadillac sites. So it's
uh,
fun. On Sunday, I'm NASCAR Vinny. On Monday, I'm photographer Vinny.
yeah, I don't think of you as a NASCAR guy.
Nah. Well, I go to the NASCAR races and actually shoot the races and with pictures and press passes and stuff too.
Well, there you go.
Which, if you ever do, make sure you rent the lens and put a filter on it, because otherwise your camera's going to get ruined. The When you take the pictures in NASCAR, the hot rubber off the tires ends up finding your lens, and it's end of day for your lens.
Wow.
And don't wear a white T-shirt. Lesson learned the hard way. So
And always bring earplugs.
always bring it. Well, you got the earphones on and you're listening to the race.
Ah, okay.
That's
So
the only
yeah,
way, but otherwise you wouldn't know what's going on. So
yeah, I always enjoyed that the pit access where you turn on your favorite team on the headset and then listen to the driver conversation with their race control.
right, right. So so I had a nice little trip driving across the country. We took our time. We went from Phoenix to Tucson and then across, what is it, 10, 20, 30, 40 or whatever, well, 40 to the 30, whatever it is. Through I still feel like I'm in Texas. I think I was there for like 4 days.
Yeah. Yep. That's what one of the jokes I tell, right, is that from Dallas, El Paso is halfway to Los Angeles.
Yeah, I'm sure. So driving the El Paso, uh, the speed limit's 80 and 85, I think, out there.
Yeah.
And I had trucks passing me at about 95, 100. And then the two lane highway, the one truck would try to pass the other truck, and it would bring traffic down to like 60. because the one truck on the right's hitting the brakes to let the other one go past, and yet the other one doesn't have enough speed to go past, so it slows everything down.
Good thing nobody was killed.
Yeah, that whole Smokey and the Bear sitting in the rocking chair thing. I hate to say it, but I was doing that at about 100 miles an hour.
Well, there you go.
So
And it's safe to do that in some of those environments, right? Where
yeah,
it's
as
there's
long as the
nothing
truck,
out there. There's a chance a rabbit to run out in front of you, but
the
not the
truck
smart
know you're there.
rabbits.
You're working with the same trucks for 20 and 30 miles. You know, you
Yeah,
just follow their lead. But
yeah, they would have killed you before now if they wanted to.
right, the one thing I learned is your gas gauge goes down awfully fast when you're doing 80 miles an hour into a 40-mile-an-hour wind. You can actually
Yes.
watch the gas gauge move down like this as you're going. I wasn't expecting that part.
Now, what were y'all driving this time?
What happened is our house in New York, they're raising the house 14 feet. Yeah, exactly. So all the stuff that's been in my attic for 20 years that I haven't used, I had to pull down, and we're renting a U-Haul, and we're towing the U-Haul back to Phoenix with all the stuff. A whole pile of stuff, baseball cards from the 80s that I haven't seen in 30 years. You
And
name
then
it.
they're going to raise the house 14 feet.
Yes, they're gonna raise the house 14 feet so it don't get hit by the flood anymore.
Oh, I see. Then that'll get you out of the floodplain.
Right. Well, I did have 8 feet of water in the house, so
Right.
they're gonna put it up a couple more feet than it's supposed to be.
But you're not moving out of there. You're just going to still flit back and forth between Phoenix and New York.
Yeah, we have another year lease on the house that we're renting in Phoenix, and we're probably gonna get another year on top of that when we go
Yeah.
back. It's gonna be a while. This is all the houses that they're doing here. They're raising my neighbor's house right now. It's up in the air, and he's been out for 6 months, and it's not even close to being done. So
Oh, that's not a good plan.
no, it snails. It's moving snail's pace out here.
But the house has been where it was for years, right?
Yeah, I've been in the house
I
my
mean, they built it where it is
yeah
years ago.
yeah. It's just a one big storm that came through.
Oh,
Otherwise,
I see.
there's been no water in the house. So
And after the one big storm, you don't believe anymore.
no.
Never
Well,
again. Fool
well,
me, trick me once, Mother Nature.
the problem is that FEMA changed the flood lines, the heights.
Ah,
So now,
after after it flooded, FEMA came through and said, "Hey, it floods here."
and they also changed the insurance laws too, the flood insurance laws. So now, because the floods got killed, money wise with Katrina, there's no money for this storm. They ended up, changing regulations and all of that stuff. At one point, they said our flood insurance is going to be $18,000 a year.
Wow.
Two congressmen passed a law called the Bigots Waters Act, and two congressmen because they wanted to get rid of the subsidies for the flood plan and all that stuff. So they just made a piece of paper sign, and everything's good. But
Well, I was worried how much it cost to raise the house 14 feet, but if they're going to raise your insurance by that much, then it becomes a rapidly relieved investment, doesn't it?
well, here's the problem. Right now, I can't sell the house because
Because it's in a floodplain,
right. So no bank would give you a mortgage,
right?
and if the bank does give you a mortgage, you got to pay $18,000 in flood insurance every year because
Right.
I'm grandfathered in. You wouldn't be.
Yeah.
And this is nationwide. It's if you have a little creek in Texas near you and you're near it, if you go to sell your house, you're gonna
Katie barred the door.
yeah, you're gonna hear about this law, and everybody's gonna be like, huh? So
Yeah.
interesting.
If we raise my house 18 feet, can I park 3 more cars?
That's what I'm thinking because right now I'm probably about 4 feet above the street. I go up 14 feet. I got a school next door. I can lease parking spaces for all the
Yeah.
teachers.
No, you can have some more specialty cars. Now, my in-laws' house is that way. They live close to the beach in Carolina, and the whole bottom floor of their house is garage and storage
Uninsurable, right?
in case it does have they do have hurricanes there, and so but that's I've been jealous about that because I'd love a big 4 or 5 car garage.
Well, that's what they're talking about doing here. I have a choice of an open foundation on piles or enclose it and put it in a garage. I'll put it in a garage, and the
You
size,
gotta go garage.
yeah, the size of my
That's,
roof is so big I could set it up for electric cars right now if I want to.
ooh,
Put an ELR in the garage. You know,
there you go, and get a good deal on those.
I'm sure somebody's giving one away somewhere.
Yeah, the dealers, I think they're at a $10,000 discount on them right now.
I've seen a couple used on eBay for real cheap too.
And they said it's one and done. They're not gonna repeat it.
Yeah. Well, they'll wait till it gets better technology in the Bolt or whatever, and then maybe it'll come back 10 years from now.
Yeah, I think that they're gonna. You're right. You're absolutely right. I think, but I think Cadillac's sense of it is the hybrid powertrains are the way to go for a luxury car. But
Uh,
of course, the ELR was a hybrid powertrain. But in other words, I think I think what Cadillac said is never design a car to be a battery extended range vehicle. Design your Cadillac and then choose to put a battery extended range power plant in it, but you don't design it to be that.
right.
So, the CT6 will be offered in a hybrid version, but it wasn't designed, that is not a one trick pony like the ELR was.
Right. Or the Evoque. Remember they were gonna do hydrogen at one time.
Well, that would have been fun though. I want and I've talked about this before on the show that's what I want is I want something I can refill in my garage. And so if I had a hydrogen recovery system and could refill the hydrogen car in the garage, that to me is the ultimate.
Well, that's what I see Tesla doing. So,
Tesla's I bet they're going to keep investing in batteries.
well,
I
the
don't
home,
think they'll go any fuel cell systems.
have you seen the home batteries that they have, Tesla?
Yes.
Yeah, when I'm finally redone with this house, I'm gonna
It's
be
going to be 14 feet off the ground.
I might be full solar and take myself off the grid in New York City.
Oh, well, that'd be fun. You got enough sun coverage?
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
Hmm.
I mean, I might have to sit in the dark during the winter, but we'll see. By the time I'm ready, they'll have the batteries improved 1,000% from where they are now. So,
So, so this week I actually finally went over and I traded my STSV and my XLR and got an ATSV.
really nice. Congrats.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I kind of held my breath the whole time, right? I kind of said, okay, we got three choices here. We can keep the cars we got, wait another year for the ATSVs to come down, right?
Right.
The second choice is it could go trade the STSV and get like a 2014 CTSV Sport and keep the XLR. Now, but what I discovered having my weekend XLR in the garage and my STSV on the pad is that's no good. If you have one garage space, you want one car
Right.
so that there's no jumping the cars around, moving the cars around, and the car stays nice and clean and not
Plus,
hot in the summer. And
not out in the Texas sun, getting your dashboard and all that fun stuff happening.
yep. So, but that was the second choice. And then the third choice, because there's about a $20,000 difference between a 14 V Sport. The V Sport actually starts out more than the ATSV, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a CTS, but uh, you can get them used where you can't get the ATSV used yet. And so so about a $20,000 difference. So if I traded both my cars, it would come out about the same, and I could just get an ATSV and then have one car and one space. And I thought, I held my breath all the way through the discussion. But what I did is my friend Richard and I went over to Crest Cadillac here in Plano, and we test drove the CTS-V Sport back to back with the ATS-V,
Okay.
and that worked really well. These cars are very similar, right? The CTS-V Sport is a little bit larger, it's a little bit heavier, and it's a little down in horsepower. It has the 420 horsepower, 430 foot-pounds of torque versus the LF4 for the ATS-V has 464, 445 or 455. I think 445. So, but driving them back to back, the V Sport, it has an 8-speed transmission, but it has the Lexus 8-speed. But the V Sport actually tries, it's almost like it tries to hide from you the fact that it's got too much power.
Really?
It's very reserved. In other words, it's when you put your foot down, it's not in a big hurry. Now, if you downshifted it and did and once it got going, it has a lot of, it has plenty of pickup, and 0 to 60 time on that car is like 4.5 seconds. So it's a goer. But the ATS-V, the response is much more instantaneous. It's a more of a boy racer than the V Sport.
Okay. So it's a good thing you did that.
What?
It's a good thing that you did that back.
Oh yeah, a big difference, right?
Yeah.
Now that still wouldn't have won the day if I didn't have the $20,000 difference.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right? Because $20,000 difference, there's not enough. You get 80% of the V Sport, of the ATS-V with the CTS-V Sport. Now, the other thing the CTS-V Sport has that the ATS-V, now we're only talking about a CTS-V Sport Premium. We're only going to talk about the premium. The base V Sport is missing the cool dash. They have a couple of different dashes they're selling right now. One of them has basically fixed analog gauges and 3 little video windows inset in the analog gauges. But the premium dash is actually just a video display screen, and you can program it. It's basically just a screen, and you can choose between 3 or 4 different dashes to show on the screen, all digital.
Nice.
So I really want, and the V Sport Premium comes with that. The ATS-V, none of them come with that. The ATS-V has the same ATS dash, except it has a little V at the bottom.
But for the $20,000 price difference, do you really need?
Well, for $20,000, would you like the better dash or the worse dash?
Yeah, I'll say
in
that.
other words, the cheaper car comes with the better dash.
Oh, okay. I thought it
The
was the
V Sport came with the all digital dash. The V Sport Premium comes with the all digital dash. The V Sport Non Premium comes with the same dashes in the ATS-V.
okay.
So the only way you could get that cool dash is if you went with the CTS-V Sport. But the fact that the CTS is a little bit larger, is a 4-door, wasn't available in a coupe. I wanted to get the ATS-V coupe. And it's not really as roarty, doesn't have as much power, and the personality is very different. And so the ATS-V won the head-to-head comparison. But then it was still a question of $20,000 and what I want to trade both my STS-V and my XLR.
You're losing a little bit of space too with the going from the STS to.
Sure, the STS-V is a big full-size 4-seater, right? But
Yeah.
we don't spend a lot of time with other couples in the car.
Right.
Now my wife's ATS, she has an ATS 2-liter premium, 2-liter turbo premium, and it's a 4-door. So if we had to go out with another couple, we'd probably grab it as opposed to the coupe.
Right.
But we're not doing family cross country trips anymore because my son's got to work, so he can't get in and go with us. And the real kicker is now when we need to do cross country trips, my wife insists that we fly.
Nice, even better.
So I don't, I'm not taking my STS-V to the coast anymore. So there's no, so I said, I'd rather have the 2-door because 90% of the time I'm alone in the car. And, so then it became a question of, could we reach a deal and would it give me the whole trade-in value on the cars and so on. But we kind of worked through that. And then we had everything done. We agreed. We almost, we were in the right ballpark on the trades. We had everything done. And he sent me over, here's the final sheet. Here's the final price. And it had an $800 surcharge for nitrogen in the tires.
All of that.
And window tint and decals on the doors. And we stuck on that. And I thought, well, okay, I'll just go pick up the XLR and go pick up a CTS-V Sport and be happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we managed to work it out, and so they called the next day and said, don't come get the car, come bring your V and let's trade. And we worked it out. And so I guess I didn't negotiate hard enough on the trade-in values. What I did is I went to the reference sites and I said, that's what the fair trade-in value is. So that's what I'm expecting from the trade-in. which normally you do that and the dealer says, I'll give you half that, right?
Right.
Right. So they actually came up and said, okay, we'll meet your ask on the trade-ins. And then they sorted it out at the end so that they still got paid for the nitrogen in the tires, and they increased the trade value a little bit to make up the difference.
Maybe they knew how well you take care of your car because
Well,
they watched the show.
yeah, unfortunately it was raining the whole week, so both my cars came over, dirty and needing. I I was
What color did you end up getting? I'm curious.
I got a Phantom Gray Metallic.
Nice, very
Phantom
nice.
Gray Metallic with the black interior. Now, this was another kind of sticking point because I said, well, I would really like a black car, and I want the luxury package, and I want the safety and security package, and that gets you all the sensors, so the blind spot. The luxury package doesn't have it has like tri-zone climate control and a couple of other things, which don't matter that much. But if you want all the sensors, you have to get the safety and security, and the safety and security requires the luxury.
Okay.
So I wanted the luxury, I wanted the safety and security, and I wanted the performance data recorder. Now, this was a confusing thing to me, is because at first I thought you had to buy the track pack to get the performance data recorder.
Yeah, I thought so too.
But that's not the case at all. The track pack is like $9,000, but the track pack is literally if you're just going to track your car and not drive it, because it actually has some deletes in it. So it's to get the car as light as possible because you're going to drive it on the weekends as your track car.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so it comes with the PDR, but it has carbon fiber to make a lighter car, and it deletes the spare, it deletes the mats, and so it's literally trying to get it back to what's the lightest car coming.
Right. It wants to turn it into the race car.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to go race it, this is your race pack. So, so I wanted the luxury, the safety and security, and the PDR, and I'm thinking in black. So Crest had a car that was close to that, which is the one I ended up buying, but it also has the sunroof. It had the red calipers. Red calipers are a $500 option.
Wow.
The calipers come silver, but you can choose from the factory to get them red or gold, which is very popular because that way you offset your color of your car, or, and they look nice, but I wouldn't necessarily have wanted red calipers for $500. But so that was the only issue, and kind of the deal on the trades was they said we would really prefer you take one off the lot. Like the logistics on the trades are, we don't want to wait 8 weeks for us to order one for you, right?
I'm surprised they even had a black car down on the lot down there.
Well, this one, they didn't have a black car. They had this one that was Phantom Gray Metallic, right?
Right.
So they had the one I ended up getting. They had another one that was red that had a few more options on it yet. So it was like $1,500 more. But I said, the Phantom Gray Metallic looks good. It's like a dark gray with very, very small metallic flecks in it, right?
Okay.
So it's kind of a glittery gray in the sunlight, or it just looks dark gray in the evening.
Almost like a candy apple.
Yeah, except gray, right? I think of candy apple as bright red, but yeah. But yeah, it's you can see in the sun it glints, and any other time it just looks like kind of a medium gray.
I love the red color. I think when I finally get settled in and I'm going to get some sort of classic, you'll see me with a 59 Cadillac with the 2014 red color.
Oh, you got to do pink or that. What was that odd green? There's like a blue green that they painted those cars in, like an agave green.
Yeah, yeah. I seen one of them on eBay about 3 weeks ago. That's funny that you mentioned that.
There you go. But yeah, my wife's ATS is red, so that kind of put me off getting the red one also, because we didn't, having two ATSs is enough. Maybe having two red ones is too much. But no, it's been a good car, and no buyer remorse. I've had it this week. And the dealer was easy to deal with, and so on, and no problems with the car. The
And it's rained every day since you've had it, probably. You can't even get
Well,
out the streets and enjoy.
yeah, I haven't been. I did accidentally put a crick in my neck today, accelerating when there was a break in traffic. I'm going to have to learn. You brace your head against the seat, and then you accelerate.
Nice.
That not vice versa. But this car, my STSV, like if you really, of course, it was tuned for a little bit harder shifts, but if you accelerated in it was vicious, and it would, but it was you tend to spin the tires, right? And in between shifts, you spin the tires. This car is very planted. So if you accelerate in it goes. It doesn't spin the tires a lot. Now I may find out that's because it has ferociously expensive tires on it.
Probably. You'll learn that the hard way.
Yeah, that it has these cup tires on it, right? In order to get the great handling numbers. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the PDR does beautiful video, and I want to get it out in the right environment uh, when the time presents itself to shoot some video on the PDR. I shot a little video last night to explain how the PDR works, but
Okay.
literally it's a camera out the front of the vehicle at mirror height. And so it
Okay.
basically works like a dash cam is what the way my wife described it. But in addition to a dash cam, it overlays vehicle information on the video. So it shows you how many G's are you pulling in different directions while you're going through that part of the track, what RPM were you pulling, what was your speed, and so on.
Yeah,
And then you have it.
we won't talk about speed. Somebody you're talking to got a speeding ticket.
Oh, on the way to or back from Phoenix?
No, on the way from Vegas
Ah,
a couple weeks ago.
was it more than $500 or less than $500?
Uh, well, somebody had to go to traffic school, so
Oh, you went to school instead of paying, or you still have to pay?
yeah. No, well, you had to pay for the traffic school too. So I think
Oh,
I think it was $380 if I wanted to pay.
yeah. But
And
you need to go to the traffic school because that gets it off your record, right?
yeah, exactly. The funny part was I was on my way home from Vegas. She was in the passenger seat, not feeling good. So I says, "Oh, I'll step on it a little bit." And
Oh, altruistic. And the officer didn't understand that?
no, even better than that, a Cadillac CTSV passes me by doing over 110, 120 miles an hour. So I says, "Oh, that's good. I got a rabbit. I can, put the foot down." I wasn't 15, 20 feet, and all of a sudden, whoop, lights. I was like, "How come you didn't pull that guy over?" I think he couldn't catch him. Tell you the truth. So
Yeah, but you can't outrun the radio, right?
yeah, exactly. The funny part is the guy that gave me the ticket, 2 weeks later, my daughter-in-law left our house and went to Vegas. She got a ticket, same speed, and from the same cop.
And you didn't tell her? You
What
didn't warn her?
what's the well, now I don't have that problem because I use the Waze app. Have you used that at all?
I played with that a little bit. We had talked about it on the Motorama show one night, and I played with that a little bit when I was out in Santa Barbara recently. And so that's an interesting combination of police location warning and navigation system and game and interactive social media program.
Right. Well, I don't use it for navigation. I still use the Google Maps for navigation. So I got two phones on at the same time. I got the Waze on my dashboard, so it's not up in my visual way, So I got navigation here, and on the iPhone 6 Plus that we just got, the Waze app is like 1,000 times better. So coming across the country from Phoenix to New York, it was about 120 reported cops, I'd say. 119 times the cop was there. So it saves you. But
Yeah, one of the things we kept seeing is the police were reported ahead of us, police were reported ahead of us, police were reported ahead of us. And what I finally decided was there was a policeman going in the same direction we were going,
right,
a mile or two ahead of us. And so we were getting continuous updates that he was a mile or two ahead of us. And
right.
we were going the speed limit. We weren't in a big hurry, but yeah, it's an interesting application. It's WAZE. And so what you do is go to your apps on your phone, the app store, and then download it from there. It's a free app as near as I can tell.
Yeah, it's free.
And I guess they're advertising supported.
It's actually owned by Google. Google bought them about 6 months ago, but they're leaving it separate from the regular
Yeah.
Google. Maps.
Now, actually reporting where a policeman is can be considered interfering with the law, right?
In your state of Texas, they tried to pass a law to not have it, to make it illegal. But it's legal because they were scared the cops were going to get targeted. But I guess they gave up that legislation after they figured the cops move around too much and not sitting in one place.
Yeah.
So, if you think about it, if you're a cop and you don't want to write tickets, you can report yourself,
But
right?
what cop doesn't want to write tickets?
A cop don't want to, get into any scuffles or whatever. You just park your car and report yourself.
Oh no, I don't think the state troopers worry about that. I think they have, bravery on their sleeve, and off they go. And every time, everyone they pull over is a new adventure. What
Yeah.
they're watching for, they're pulling you over, watching to see if you're hauling drugs in and out of Las Vegas, right?
Oh, you know, we're so close to the border in Phoenix. We went down to Tucson and driving through the border patrol. The car next to me, it was 2 lanes. They actually pulled the guy out of the car and put him on the ground, and they didn't even ask me anything. They were just like, "Go," because the
We're
dog,
busy.
the dog,
Go on.
right? The dogs went nuts next to me, So they just wanted the area cleaned and stopped all the traffic. So I was just happened to be the one next to them. So they're like, "Go."
And you didn't offer to test samples for them.
No, no. I keep wanting to talk to them, with the full Brooklyn accent, but my girl is like, "Shut up."
Shut up. Go. Just go.
No, right.
Is
So
she from New York also?
yeah, she's from Rochester.
Oh, okay. So there you go. No, but that's a different accent.
She actually has no accent. But then again, I don't think I have an accent either. So
Yeah, exactly. So and yeah, I don't. My Texas accent's coming on stronger and stronger. I was in the Navy for years, and you kind of get a sort of Midwestern accent as a merge of the different accents.
okay,
Um, Even to the point that then when I went back home, because I come from southern Arkansas, so even when I went back home, people would ask me, "Well, where are you from?" I
right.
said, "Well, I'm from here," but that's what it was. Is you're on a ship with the same people over a period
Oh,
of time, your accents kind of merged to a Midwestern accent, right?
yeah, it's funny when I'm in Phoenix. I walk into like the McDonald's and everybody's like, "Hey, Brooklyn," it's almost like Norm from Cheers. No matter where I
Yes, yes. At the Wendy's, I am known as the chili guy,
go. That's
which
good.
which concerns me about how many people are ordering chili from Wendy's, right?
I'd be the only one.
Apparently it's this guy. It's
Right.
this guy. So yeah, I totally get that. But yeah, that's fun that they know you in Phoenix because you're spending a lot of your time in Phoenix because you're living there while you're raising the house.
Right. Correct.
Yep. So
So,
when are you getting in another Cadillac? That's what everyone wants to know.
oh, who knows? It could be a couple weeks. It could be a couple of years. When I go out to Phoenix, I'm going to buy a second car. Right now, she went out and bought a 2009 Hyundai Santa Fe. You
Good.
know, I was in New York. She was out there, and she saw it in the paper and went out and got it. So,
Yeah.
but
This is the
with
way
them,
my wife is also. She's
so you understand,
makes her own decisions.
right? So it's funny when I pull up to a car show out there to take pictures and stuff. They're like, "Hey, where's your Cadillac?" I'm like, "That's my Hyundai out there." So,
Yes. Now you can be a Cadillac fan without a Cadillac. I am not being critical of people who are in that situation because I've known tons of people who were.
it happens.
However, I like to think you're just in between Cadillacs.
That's what it is.
That you're shopping, you're always, getting ready for the next one. But you said you want an older Cadillac then.
Yeah, I want an older Cadillac just to bum around with out there.
And
I
do
was
you know a mechanic?
I, I guess I'm gonna meet one. Uh,
Yes. That's the combo you want is you want to buy a Cadillac from someone who just restored it and is available to support it.
right. Well, knowing me, when I get back to New York, I'll probably bring one of these nice rust-free
Yeah,
classic.
because Phoenix is that way, right? It's dry, 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 and so the old cars last forever.
Yeah, even if on Craigslist you see the ads, only 400,000 miles. I'm like, 400,000 miles. That's four cars here in New York. Here you throw your car away in New York because of the salt environment, and we're right near the ocean, so you get the salt air from that.
So an older car, let's be more specific. You're looking for a 40s, 50s, 60s.
Oh, it'll be something 60s probably. I'm thinking somewhere around my same time as born as me. So
Yeah,
60.
I consider that right. Getting one from my birthday, but the thing that put so we went and looked at what we did is there's before I got the XLR, we went to one of these warehouse places that sells all kinds of custom and specialty cars, right? And they had 50s, 60s Cadillacs, 70s Cadillacs, and they had one XLR. And we looked at all the different ones. And what I discovered is the 60s and the 70 Cadillacs were too big.
Yeah,
I couldn't literally, they couldn't fit in the garage.
they're a New York apartment.
Yeah, and what I wanted was a smaller car, so that wasn't going to work. But we saw a beautiful XLR Platinum there, which is what got me thinking about an XLR. Got me thinking about an XLR, and then I went and shopped for my XLR, and then traded it several months later.
Right. So
So
yeah,
so you think it's 60s Cadillac, maybe early 60s?
well, that's the ultimate plan when I get back here. But for now, I'm probably going to get like a 2004, 2005 SRX for out there
Those are nice. Yeah,
because
because you have dogs.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
those are underappreciated too. So I bet they get them at a good price.
well, the
That
problem
that was kind of the tall station wagon SRX,
with the
and
long doors.
so yeah. I think I like the current version of the SRX also, but it's very different from that one. That one has more interior room.
And it looks like the Cadillac, the SRX is actually getting bigger to more to that form now. The new one's coming out, the
Yeah,
XT5.
they're not going to quite be big enough for 3 rows of seats, but they did add wheelbase in between the front wheels and the rear wheels without adding length to the overall car.
Have
So
they
that's nice.
made any announcements about the three different sizes of the?
They keep talking about it.
Yeah,
That basically is going to be on the same platform as the XT5, only extended.
I was thinking the bigger one would have the third row seat.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what it sounds like.
right.
And the of course you can get the Escalade with the 3 row seats too. But
I'll find out more information next week at the auto show on that.
boy, I bet they wish that they were 5 years advanced on that plan because everybody wants an SUV now.
Yeah.
Wants a crossover and SUV.
All I'm seeing in Phoenix is it's either an ATS or an SUV. That's
Like
it.
CarMax talked about, they were sold out. Like they can't get enough used cars in that format because now that gas has stayed down so long, then people want a crossover and SUV.
I was actually thinking about going and getting a van because I'm going to be constantly moving stuff back and forth from Phoenix to here.
Yeah,
And
but the SRX would do that.
yeah, well, I'm also thinking that I might drive across the country a few times to do paperwork and all that stuff and supervise the house. At least if I have the van, I can, spend a couple nights, or drive 4 hours, take a nap, 4 hours, take a nap, instead of doing
Oh,
hotels.
in
You know,
the van.
yeah, instead of doing hotels 10 times coming across. We
Yeah,
we took
it's
our
not
time.
perfectly safe, but yeah, I understand what you're saying.
All the travel stops and stuff.
Now, can you rent an Uber driver for when you need to take a nap?
Oh, that,
I'd like an Uber driver that I can pick up in Little Rock and drop off in Memphis so I can have a nap.
I was thinking about that, having fly out my nephew and have him meet me in Dallas and let him go from Dallas to Memphis and then put him back on a plane again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, bring your significant other with you, right? And let them so that you have somebody to drive. Because like driving all day and into the night, I can do that if I can do it regardless. But what I really like is if I can get a nap right after lunch.
Right. You'd be
That
with.
makes a huge difference. We can start off first thing in the morning, and if I can get a nap right after lunch, an hour or two, then I'm good the rest of until later. But we use the 2 hour rule. Every 2 hours we need to stop, get gas, stretch our legs, refill get a snack, so on.
That was my original plan, but my girl banged her knee like the night before we left, and she couldn't. She was constantly in the passenger seat on ice, so I wasn't going to let her drive. So I ended up
Yeah,
the whole thing because
yeah,
the original plan was me drive 4 hours, then her for two, and then me another four. But that
yeah.
went right out the window, and I
Well, I
drove.
hope her knee's better.
Yeah, she's fine now. But I
Good.
drove like 7 hours a day, I guess it was. It was we weren't in a hurry to get here, so there was, you know, different story if we were in a hurry.
Yeah. Well, you need to not be in a hurry.
Right. But I could see me doing a trip in like 3 days, 4 days most. So
Yeah, from Phoenix to New York.
yeah. We
So how
took
many miles is that?
2600.
Wow.
We took the southern route. Went down to Tucson and then across Texas because of we didn't want a chance of hitting any snow. It was snowing up in Flagstaff and Albuquerque. So we took that route. It was 100 miles more, but what's 100 miles when you're going 2,500?
Right. Exactly.
But it was a nice little trip. I'm glad we got to do it. I thought I was going to do it in a Cadillac SRX, because we had talked about that a long time ago. You told me to get the V8 instead of the V6,
Right.
and but there just isn't any V8s out there. It seems like, and if there is, they're so overpriced because people aren't trading them in. They're just keeping them.
Okay. So I'll add that to my local search, and you can fly in here and pick one up.
Sure, there you go.
Because I do keep an eye on the local Craigslist car ads, and Texas is a pretty good place to buy cars. I think our market here is good. That's what um, Cadillac Jim did, is he flew in here and bought a CTSV and drove it back to New York.
Nice.
But yeah, I'll have to watch out for that first generation SRX.
Right. Keep
Yeah,
me.
here's your good '66 Cadillac. You can come get it. It's $4,000.
The place I've been looking at is the Desert Valley Car Kings. They're out,
Yes.
but every one of them needs massive work. If I was to buy something from there, I'd have to be working on it in Phoenix constantly. And
Oh, is that like a recycle yard?
yeah,
Yeah.
they have all the parts, but everything that they got, is all Cantina, and has been through the ringer. So
Yeah. Yeah. I was when you first said that, I thought that maybe they were okay. So here's your 2005 SRX. Oh, but it's got 167,000 and it's the V6.
right, that's actually less than what I've been seeing. How much do they want for that one?
5,500.
That ain't bad at all. They've,
Yeah.
they've been sitting around 6 to 7 thousand with like 150,000 miles, so that fits right into.
Yeah. That's in that model. Well, okay. So I'll keep an eye out. The big thing on used cars like that is you just have to be ready to buy, right?
Yeah, you got to pull the trigger right away, you know, which isn't a problem. I
Well,
see.
here's a 2008, but they've done something to it. It looks odd. Like they've changed the front end. I think what they did is they put a V grill on it, and
Yeah, I
it
see a
really
lot of that too. A
it
lot of
really
cars.
is not a good look. It's 133,000 miles too, which for an '08, that other one had fewer miles and it was no fun.
Right. See, I gave you something to do.
Yeah, well, we'll see. So an SRX, a V8, 2004 or five, and we like to get less than 100,000 miles.
You know what I noticed after you go 2005 to the 2006 model, it's like a big price jump in all the used. So that's why I say 2004, 2005.
More than 10 years, yeah.
Yeah,
It's that 10-year gap.
that 10-year gap. So
Well, okay, Vinny. Anything you need to plug besides the auto show?
no, I'll be at the auto show next week. I don't know what time I'll be broadcasting yet. I should have set a time and just jumped on
Yeah.
it.
Well, there's still time. So if you want to follow Vinny at the auto show, what you do is go to CadillacCountryClub.com and he'll have links and info there. Or you can catch him on Facebook because he's going to be using Facebook Live. But I guess that's what I was asking before is, so when you're shooting Facebook Live, if I go to CadillacCountryClub.com, is there a way for you to link the Facebook Live video on the website?
Probably not unless I had like a second computer and did it really quick.
Oh, because you won't be set up to do it. But
I won't be set up to do it.
yeah, because that part I'd have to study. Because if you're just driving people to Facebook, then I'd be less excited about. I want to end up on YouTube where I can link just the video.
Well, here you go. I can always drop links in the comments back to my site.
Perfect. There you go. And hopefully it makes live links. So Vinny O'Hare was on with us tonight. We missed the rest of you guys who weren't on with us tonight. We do these chats on Thursday nights so that we can, because I enjoy talking about Cadillacs and our guests enjoy talking about Cadillacs and raising their houses 14 feet and whatever other topics come to mind. If you ever want to be on the show with us, the way you do that is contact me and let me know. And then, because you got to get an invite, is the way the Google Hangouts works. Is you got to get an invite so that you can join. Now, if you're ever last minute, if you actually follow the CaddyInfo every week, I post a thread on CaddyInfo with the Hangout information, and it actually has a jump-in link to help you get into the Hangout. But it's easy to do. You do need a camera. You don't have to have a camera. You can participate just via text. But you do need You do need, it helps if you have a headset and a camera. But if you want to practice Google Hangouts ahead of time and get it straight in your mind, we actually start the show at 15 minutes early at 7:15 Central Time, or just contact me in between shows and say, hey, Bruce, I'd like to be on the show and I'd like to practice ahead of time. And we can do just a one-on-one video chat and let you get your sound tuned in and your video straight and your background set the way you like it. So thanks for being on, Vinny. It was good to see you again.
Hey, you too.
Good luck in your travels and keep me updated on your, and I'm serious. If you come within range of Dallas, let me know and we'll get together.
Okay, cool.
All right. Take care.
All right, bye.
I'm going to hit the